So let's talk about that feeling of being stuck. You know, when things seem like they should be going right, but you just feel empty. Well, it turns out the answer might come from this really powerful idea developed way back in 1943 by a psychologist named Abraham Maslow. I mean, have you ever had this happen? You work so hard for something, a promotion, a new car, whatever it is. You finally get it, and for like a minute, it feels great. But then, poof, the feeling's gone, and you're already looking for the next thing. It's that hollow victory we're gonna get into today. And see, this is the trap we all fall into. We treat happiness like it's some finish line we have to cross, but the race just never seems to end, does it? We're always chasing that next thing, thinking that will be the thing that finally makes us content. But it almost never is. So why? To figure that out, we gotta go all the way back to 1943. A guy named Abraham Maslow publishes this bombshell paper, A Theory of Human Motivation. And he argues that our search for happiness isn't a race to one single spot. It's more like climbing a ladder, or as you've probably seen it, a pyramid. And this right here, this is the core of his whole idea. We are never satisfied. The second one of our desires gets fulfilled, a new one just pops up to take its place. We are hardwired to always want something. But here's the really brilliant part. He figured out there's a very specific order to the things we want. And this is that order. He called it the hierarchy of needs. It all starts at the bottom, with our most basic, primal needs for survival, physiological stuff like food and water. Once you've got that handled, you move up to safety, then love and belonging, then esteem, and then, finally, way up at the very peak, you start reaching for something called self-actualization. Okay, now this is the single most important rule of the entire pyramid. You've got to get this. Maslow's big idea was something called prepotency. All that means is the needs at the bottom have to be mostly met before you even start to care about the needs higher up. Think about it. If you're suffocating, you're not worried about your reputation. The bottom always comes first. So, you ready? Let's actually climb this pyramid together, from the very bottom all the way to the top. What does each level really feel like in our day-to-day lives? Let's start with the foundation. All right, so levels 1 and 2. This is the bedrock. This is all about survival and security. Maslow saw these as our most powerful, most demanding needs. So what are we really talking about here? Well, level 1 is literally having food to eat, water to drink, and a place to sleep. Level 2 is about having a secure home, a stable paycheck to cover the bills, and just feeling like the world isn't totally chaotic. When you're struggling down here, money absolutely buys happiness, because what it's really buying is security. When these things are at risk, they take over your every thought. I love this quote from Maslow. It just perfectly nails the power of these basic needs. When you're starving, your entire world just shrinks down to one single thing: getting food. Nothing else matters. But then he asks the big question: what happens when there is plenty of bread and your belly is always full? Well, something new starts to bubble up. Once you've got that food and shelter sorted, you start to realize something else is missing. And that brings us right up to level 3. The second you stop worrying about sheer survival, you suddenly feel the pang of loneliness. You feel the absence of friends, of a partner, a family. You start to crave connection, affection, a place where you belong. This is the need for love and belonging. It's why we join tribes, build families, and create communities. And Maslow, as a clinician, he made a really critical observation here. He said that when this need for connection isn't met, it's one of the biggest reasons people have psychological problems. This isn't just a nice to have, it's a fundamental pillar of our mental health. Okay, so let's imagine you've got a safe home and you've got your people, your crew. You should be happy now, right? Well, not so fast, because now a whole new set of desires starts to kick in. And welcome to level 4. This is the level where, honestly, most of us in the modern world get stuck. This is the world of esteem. See, at this point, you're not just trying to survive or fit in anymore. You're trying to stand out. You start to crave respect. You want recognition for what you do. You want to feel important and have some status in your group. And what's so brilliant is that Maslow breaks this down into two different sides. On the one hand, there's the internal stuff, self-respect, feeling capable, strong, independent. But on the other hand, there's the external stuff, getting respect from other people. We're talking reputation, prestige, promotions, the likes, all of it. And when you actually satisfy this need, man, the result is huge. You develop real, genuine self-confidence. You feel capable, you feel useful, you feel like you're actually necessary in the world. It's that feeling that you can really make a difference. But then what? I mean, what happens after that? What happens when you feel safe, you feel loved, and you feel respected? Maslow said that even then, a new kind of restlessness can creep in. And this brings us to the final and maybe the most misunderstood level of the whole pyramid. This is self-actualization. This has nothing to do with what other people think of you anymore. This is all about fulfilling your own unique potential. It's that inner drive to become the absolute most that you can be, to become what you are capable of becoming. This line, wow, it just nails it, doesn't it? What a man can be, he must be. As Maslow put it, a musician has to make music, an artist has to paint. It's that deep internal pull to do the thing that you were meant to do, whatever that is for you. And right here, this is the core problem. This is why so many of us feel so stuck. Our culture is constantly yelling at us to find your passion, live your purpose. Those are level 5 goals. But we're trying to do that while we're secretly stressed about making rent or our job security, which are level 2 needs. You can't just skip to the top. If the foundation isn't solid, the whole pyramid just gets wobbly and collapses. So, what do we do with all this? How can you actually use this framework to get unstuck? Well, the first step is to be brutally honest about where you really are on the pyramid, not where you think you should be. So just take a second and look at your life right now. If you're feeling that dissatisfaction, ask yourself why. Is it because your foundation is shaky? Are you really truly safe and secure? Or are you feeling deeply lonely? Or hey, maybe you're safe and you're loved, but you just feel disrespected or invisible. Figuring out which need is crying out for attention is the absolute key to knowing what to do next. So we'll leave you with that thought to chew on. Check your pyramid. Find the rung you're standing on right now. It's the first real step to getting unstuck. And hey, make sure you join us next time because we're going to explain why a simple bell can literally make you drool. We are diving deep into classical conditioning. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out.